Station.
What's up, my guys? Good to be here, man. Good to see you guys as always.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited to do this one. I don't know what y'all thought of this, but I meant to send you guys a video because tonight, obviously, we're reviewing 2019's The Mortuary Collection. This was a Shudder exclusive. I watched this day one when it dropped on Shudder. This was one that caught my eye. Clancy Brown is, he's an icon in the horror industry nowadays. From Pet Sematary 2 to freaking, he just did a good one recently. Dexter, the new season of Dexter. He was great in that.
He's really good in a movie called The Burrowers. If anybody's never seen that, I highly recommend it.
Heck yeah. So this is one I was definitely excited for. This gives me kind of like Body Bags vibes if Body Bags was more successful back in the day, because I like Body Bags, but I know it wasn't really like that. I think that was like a Showtime movie, and obviously if it would have been more popular, it probably would have spawned like sequels, But I know this is written and directed by Ryan Spindell. I think this film's great, man. Before we jump into that, Robbie, man, did you unveil the list yet, or is that is that tomorrow?
That will be tomorrow night, everybody, on Rockin' Robbie Live, the full 2022 Horror Fest from DHS and PCP Movie Nights going to be revealed tomorrow night, including we're going to be picking the choices from y'all for the Horror Fest movie poll. So nice. You want to check out Rockin' Robbie Live tomorrow night, and if you don't, shame on you. And just one more again. Pop, pop, boom. Come on, man. Come on.
Hell yeah.
Come on.
But before I forgot, do you guys know how many stories there are in this? Is there like four? There's four.
There's four. And I was going to add in just for your little intro bit. I just read this just now. The last story that we get, the Babysitter Murders.
Yeah.
That was an original short story that he put out. Okay.
No. Finish, man.
Yeah, he put it out in 2015. And it's interesting the way he took that idea and then tied this whole anthology around that idea. It's pretty cool.
It kind of reminds me of like the Terrifier situation in a way where some people don't know was they did like an anthology movie called All Hallows Eve, and there it was an anthology and it had the Terrifier in one of them, and that blew up, so it got its own movie, kind of like The Nun in Conjuring 2, like that people love that, so that got its own movie. The That's kind of what I feel like.
Well, this seems like maybe something that Shudder wanted to do as a regular gig.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, it's an homage to.
And then I think what happened is
Creep
Show came along, and Creep Show was so successful, had a name that took maybe what this would have been.
Well, yeah, like I said, man, I get major like Body Bags vibes. Creep Show is definitely influenced.
Yeah, it's like Tales of the Dark Side, Tales, those type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Babysitter Murders is obviously the original working title for the original Halloween. So, that definitely has some,
The problem with anthologies, and maybe the gift of the problem, is that they will only be judged by the value or the how good the stories are that make up, in the end, that makes up that movie.
One thing I wonder is
so it's tough.
Is it the same short story that he just added into the movie, or did he redo it?
No, see that's what I thought.
More money or something.
I looked at the trailer for that because that's what I assumed it was.
It even showed all the other ones don't say the name of the title, like when we get the guy one with the condoms and shit, but when that one pops up, it's like it headlines Babysitter Murders.
Wait, are y'all telling me that the movie that they're watching at the end of the film, which is an homage to the original title to Halloween, was a short film that this dude did?
No.
Okay.
That whole last bit, probably beside the way they tie it in with the owner of the mortuary, but that whole story with the babysitter and the guy coming in, that was a short story he did. The same exact thing.
So a short story,
way.
like he wrote it. Or are you saying it was a short film?
I'm sorry, it was a short film, a 22-minute film that he took that exact film and then he tied it into this
and
pretty seamlessly.
They tied it into the framing.
He did that short story, The Babysitter Murders, before.
I get what you're saying. It almost seems like he came up with a bunch of cool short film ideas, and everybody was like, "We're not funding or releasing short films."
Yeah,
put them together.
He got one. I feel like he got one funded, and maybe they're like, "Oh, this is actually good." So they're like, "Okay." So then he put the rest together and was like, "Okay, they like the one, so now I'm gonna do 3 more and put it bunch it together."
Well, that's cool. For that, I'll say.
And then come up.
I wonder if he showed the Babysitter Murders to Shudder, and they're like, "This is great. Give us. You got 3 more. You got 3 more stories. Let's bunch it together, and we'll do our own fucking body bags."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I absolutely love the idea of this movie. And I was saying, I thought Chris Stuckman did a review on this. He had added this on he did a video of kind of hidden gems. I think it was streaming hidden gems or something. And this was one of them. And I was like, man, Stuckman like this one? I was like, that's pretty cool. But I know that this one was up for an award or 2 as well, man. This is a good one from Shudder, man.
Well, I think Shudder submits everything for an award. So.
Oh, I'm sure. But Robbie, man, this was a first-time watch for all you guys, correct?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start off with Robbie, and then because eventually, man, I want to know y'all favorite segment and everything, because this is a fun one to talk about. Let's hear what you think, Robbie.
I'm gonna tell you this. So I get ready to watch this movie, and I never even heard of the Mortuary collection. When you sent me the list, I looked at it. I was like, "What's this?" And I looked it up, and I was like, "I don't know. This looks like it could just be okay, right?" Like there's a certain aesthetic to it that feels cheap, homemade. There's a certain aesthetic to it that I didn't quite like. It's like it was when the movie first starts. I was like, oh man, this is going to be kind of dumb. It's going to be one of those whimsical, trying to fit in between a horror film and a family horror film. I thought it was going to do this.
Music, though.
Thought it was going to be cheesy and all this shit. And then it goes into the first story, which is the chick with the bathroom mirror. And I was like, this is fucking stupid. CG fucking horror, CG gore. And that was you gotta let me finish. Gotta let me finish, my man. You know what I'm saying? But no, so I watched that and I'm like, that was your first story? I thought it was really boring at first. But then it gets into the dude who gets pregnant story. And I was like, where the fuck is this movie? Like this could be made a whole movie because that
Right.
one, and it went there. Like it was structured in such a way that I didn't realize where this movie was going to be on like the gore meter. And then we get to that story and it just slowly starts ramping things up. And then it just goes ballistic. Then the next story with the dude and his wife. Holy shit. First of all, sad as fuck, right? But incredibly effective, right? And it feels like one of those old school EC stories, right? And then we got to the final story, which tied it all together. And I thought that was cool, right? I liked the homage to John Carpenter's Halloween. The original, you guys talked about it. The original story was supposed to be called The Babysitter Murders and this and that. I liked the flip. That story, though, was like, it was all right. But man, when it was said and done, I was like, I'm really glad that I watched this movie. I don't think it's perfect because I don't like the framing setup. I don't like that. I'm a huge... Is this Clancy Brown or Tom Clancy? I always get those two confused.
Clancy.
One's a writer. Okay. I'm a huge Clancy Brown fan. Highlander. He's Lex Luthor in the animated series, right? So I was disappointed in the framing device. However, I thought that this dude made a really strong case. The guy that directed this film wrote and directed it. Made a really good case for Clancy Brown being the next tall man.
Because that's what I was just thinking before.
That's what dude, he's got yellow fucking blood. Thinking. He's in a mortuary. All he had to do was go, boy. And I thought that would be perfect, right? So it was making a good case there. I thought overall it was solid. It was really solid. It had some pacing issues for an anthology. It didn't like pop like something like Tales from the Dark Side or the Creepshow movies. It didn't kind of have that kind of vibe to it. It didn't have that energy, but the stories themselves were for the most part really good. 2 out of 4 of the stories I thought were phenomenal. Like absolutely just some of the best horror stories I've seen on film this year. Like I actually really enjoyed this film. So at first I was trepidatious. I was a little bored, but when it got to that dude getting pregnant and having a baby through his dick and it explodes all over the place, bruh, come on.
That was wild.
I thought this movie was a riot. I loved it because it also, the other story, that story's fun and ridiculous and kind of like a moral lesson. The other one is really kind of twisted and fucked up with the dude having to kill his wife for good reasons. And it just keeps like, it's like gets worse. This would be like if George Costanza tried to kill his wife. Oh, wait, he almost did right with them stamps. Anyway, I liked it. Long story short, I thought it was cool. And it gets Rockin' Robbie's seal of approval.
Fuck yeah, man. I'm so glad you made that Phantasm remark because I forgot about it. And just before I was on IMDb and like in the description it says, something about several macabre and phantasmagorical and
phantasmagorical.
Yeah, I was like, dude, just hearing that word, I was like, dude, you know what he reminds me of in this? This is like the fucking tall man's like.
It's like his cousin or something, man. It's his cousin. It's like Tall Man's cousin is what this dude.
And him
Clancy Brown needs to be the tall
stories.
man. Don Coscarelli's got one more in him. Come on, we know it. We know he doesn't want to go out on Phantasm 5. Come on, man.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. So Vern,
my man,
first time watching, dude. What did you think, man? We got high hopes from Robbie. Fucking loving it. What did you think?
I loved it even more than Robbie because I first of all I really liked the framing, so I liked that.
Dude, I love how
coming in
beginning with the music and everything.
The way they tied it together, and here's what I appreciate about that first story because it is what it is. I love that the girl, first of all, she critiques all the story. She does half of our job where she's telling you the meaning and what this film is trying to say. I appreciate that, but that first one. It is what it is. It's just this stupid little story, but the cinematography, like right from the get-go, even in that little bathroom, when she's running from those tentacle things and they're coming at her, it's fire. And I think there was a nice little mix of practical, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was some practical going on with some CG in that story. And it was cool. Like obviously it's nothing special, but just like what Robbie said, I was like into it. I was like, oh, this is pretty good. It looks good. It looks solid. I'm digging the tone of it. But the exploding dick story, which is what I'll always remember about this, that was so good. Like that's like
Oh, good.
top notch, one of the best stories. Like Robbie said, that was really, really, really good. The acting in that was great. The dude that is the player and the way they flipped it on him, yeah, it was phenomenal.
Good.
All the
So
stories
Where's
were
it going to
really
come
good.
out, Verno?
Yeah,
The same way
same
it got
way.
in.
The only place it can come out.
that shit is so memorable. I wish like you could get more into what the fuck is going on with that chick. Because you see the mother have a book open, and I paused it to try and see, but it shows like kind of like a drawing of like a dick and like kind of like like a little bug, and it shows just like going inside it. Like, but it, and then on the other page it shows like a snake
like
cut into like 3 pieces. I don't know. So
I'm going to tell you this: if Magic Johnson and Arsenio Hall had this movie back in 1991, everybody would have been wearing condoms.
But I fucking love that segment so much. So that's so
the
good.
Twist. First of all, I'll just say like the twist at the end. Definitely didn't see that coming. They played that really, really well with the final twist, and just in pretty much each story had a really solid twist. And if it wasn't a twist, it went in a way that you weren't expecting it to go. It went further than you were expecting it to go. And also, like Robbie alluded to, the gore was pretty top notch. Like, and it kept ramping up throughout it.
Yeah.
Dude with his hand in the meat grinder. Like, other than the first bit, like the gore kept getting gorier.
I mean,
it was great.
I think even in the first bit, bro, and she fucking is like, she's in the mirror, and then you just go. Snap. You know, her back just
the dude with the dude with the meat grinder. The dude with the meat grinder, when he has to like reverse it. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Just the clumpy blood dripping on the ground. Like, it was great. I loved it. And by the way, this is a critically, it's 95%. I know nobody gives a shit. 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I ain't mad at it, dude. I think it deserves every percent it got.
That you've never heard of.
Right.
Never heard of. 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, I know to us really we don't care about that as much, but that's still good. You know, how many ratings is it?
I'll say this, like, as far as the Rotten Tomatoes, I think it's like, if it says 30%, you guys and a lot of horror fans might still love it. But when it says 95%, that means it's probably fucking good.
Especially
we can all agree on it probably for the most part. So.
Yeah, because they usually, I feel horror always gets a harsh rating
for sure.
But yeah, dude, I'm fucking loving.
Robbie's gone.
I'm loving what I'm hearing.
enough. He's out of here.
Scarpad, dude, what did you think?
Okay, well, I said anthologies will rise and fall on the stories, like Twilight Zone, the movie. The stories weren't all that great. Okay, the thing I really loved about this movie was I loved the framing story. Where Robbie didn't like it, I think the framing story was the absolute best thing in this movie because it created a world I believed in. I bought Clancy Brown as that character. I bought the girl as the person coming in. It had kind of a vibe. I've seen stories with that vibe before. Somebody comes in and that's the framing story. They set the world up great too. I love the actual mortuary. When they go down and show it, she's showing in the different rooms. All those sets were fantastic. And right through the end, I mean, that was all great stuff. Unfortunately for me, the stories didn't rise to the framing thing setup they used. I thought the stories were pretty average. There wasn't one story here where I didn't see what was coming from the beginning one with the octopus to the way he gives birth. We've seen men giving birth before type stories. Naturally, it's going to come out as dick. Exploding dick was.
I ain't never seen a dude give birth like
fantastic.
that. Arnold Schwarzenegger's Jr. did not go that far.
It could have came, but that's probably what happened. Could have came out the ass, came out the dick, and we saw that was great for a split second, and then we saw the actual like the silhouette of it, and that was great. So that that whole story was good. And the fact the kid was kind of like overweight, and then he was as a kid, so he was but that story didn't exactly blow me away. The next story with the woman who was dying, Yeah, I mean, I did like some of the gore and stuff in there. I like the setup, But when it got to the point where he's stuffing it in the thing, seen that in the serial killer movie.
Yeah, but when he's like using the damn turkey slicer and to
Right,
like cut her legs off, and she comes back to life, you're like, what the fuck? It just keeps getting so bad. This poor guy is just like at this wit's end, trying to do the right thing.
And then finally the story,
wrong.
the reverse story with the babysitter, and then the guy's the actual victim, and then that ties together. You could tell it was the same woman who played the character in the other story, so naturally she was going to be the bad guy in that. So while I love the framing part of it, and it very well could make a great anthology show, I thought the 4 movies were okay, I didn't really see anything that wasn't predictable.
You must be really good. You should write that if you predicted that shit.
I thought the second story with the exploding penis was a little long. They could have trimmed that down a little bit.
That's what she said.
Right. It would have been bad. So I thought it was an okay movie. But overall, I wasn't as hopped up on it as you. I love the framing part of it, though. I'd love to see that again.
I'm sure you loved the framing parts when that D was exploding. So let's go around. What would be your favorite skit out of, or short out of all these? I'm gonna go last on this one, and I'll let Scarpad pick first.
Out of the 4, I would say my favorite would be. I would say the wife and the husband, because it had the best balance. I think.
Death Till Do Us Part 1
story. Yeah, I love that. And it had the doctor telling him to do it, and the suspense that built up in that story. To my opinion, that was the best story of the 4.
Which he connects into the world because he's the doctor from the penis or the guy being pregnant.
He's in all the stories. He's the dad. Yeah. He's the dad of the kid at the end.
Right.
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah, dude, I love that one though. Man.
The husband that kills her, he's the guard that they show when they're doing the interview and they send it to the sanitarium. Right. He's the one guard that just says, "Yep," leans into the mic. So they tie it all in pretty nicely.
Yeah. What about you, Vern?
I will say just on that one, I really enjoyed that one. I did watch this twice, as I tend to do. Yeah. I got about a 4-hour gap usually between work and now. So I threw it on again, especially the second time around, but even a little bit the first time. The third story, the one with the woman in the coma, that one is the one that seemed like it could have been chopped down a little bit. Because the whole thing, it's long. The whole movie is almost 2 hours. They could have either cut that one down a little bit, in my opinion, or just cut out that first story that we all agree is probably the weakest story.
I don't know. Like it, man. It's
I
like it, man. It's fun. It's not like nothing crazy, but I just feel like it kind of sets you in. It's like a little H.P. Lovecraft type monster.
When the woman kills herself, did he call and say that she killed herself on the Arctic air?
The Arctic hare. That's the little statue that she fell on, which was a great moment for me. He picks her up, drops her back down.
Bruh.
But
that broke my heart, man. That whole story.
And then they have like when they're all those like rabbits that are like they like pan to all these rabbits that are like looking.
I was expecting some rabbits to show up in that elevator and take this motherfucker out, halfway.
I'll say
you did.
The second story, the one with it's this jock guy, this frat boy who's a player. He's literally putting notches on his belt. He's got up to 67 cherries that he's popped. And then she flips the script on him. I thought, like, there's no way I would have predicted that he was going to get pregnant. Like, you know what I mean? As they're hooked up, I knew something was going to happen. But the fact that he ends up pregnant and she ends up, when he calls her and it's the role reversal.
She told me
she's like, who is this? And he's like, it's Franklin or whatever the fuck his name was. Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. And his performance for me was maybe the best performance.
He's great. He's in a show called Euphoria, and he's fucking so good. All the kids in that show are incredible. I also love about that one. What is it? That like when he's making it, when he first sees her, he's like, he says some joke about like, yeah, I'm here to just get laid, and she's like, me too.
Yeah.
And he's like, I was just, I was just kidding, you know. And I like, so, once they bang, and then he takes the condom off, and then she's gone. She splits in the middle of the night, you know, and then you just see him throw up. Then I was like,
right,
like that. That's when I knew. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Before that, I just thought he was getting an STD or something.
That's me too, because I was like, you know, that's going to be a whole part of this. There's going to be some subplot of how, you know, not to fucking to always wear it, you know.
One thing that movie made me realize is like, I know a lot of women have babies, right? Not all women, but some women choose to have babies, right? Whatnot. But as a dude, I'm gonna tell you what, that sounds like a horrific fucking experience. That's a Cronenberg experience to have something growing inside of you. Seriously. You know what I'm saying? So like, crazy. I see all these movies like The Brood or Rosemary's Baby, and I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. But then to see it from the dudes getting, bruh, it hit me for the first time, and I was just like, you know what? I'm not ever going to tell a woman what to do with her body, because that's scary ass shit, brother.
Well, and it also puts in perspective, like, oh yeah, that's the situation women are in. It can be one night for us, and then if a man chooses to be a piece of shit and not raise his kids, it's the rest of her life, or at least another 9 months or whatever. It does put it into perspective in a pretty interesting way for me. Exactly what you're saying, Robbie. Like, it made me be able to put myself in the shoes of a pregnant woman more so than I ever would have before. So I loved that one. And the style, I think especially of that one, I think the style was pretty much similar for all of them, but there was a lot of nifty little things that they did there stylistically with the way it was shot that was really, really well done.
They changed it a tiny bit, I feel like, but for the most part, they're all pretty similar tone, like cinematography wise. Robbie, what would be your favorite one?
Well, I think that the one that's the best is the one with the dude and his wife, because that is just such a sad sequence of events, but at the same time, it's like this could have been played out comedically, for instance. Like if she was a naggy wife, right? If this was a situation like in Creepshow with the crate, right?
Yeah, but we don't even see what happened.
It was kind of comedic.
She's just sick. Like
that's what I'm saying is though,
and then she's just sick.
It could have been comedic, and there's a moment inside of me where I'm like, it is comedic, but at the same time, it's horrific. Because if you've ever been in love, and curse your cold heart if you haven't, but you know, but if you've been in love, like truly in love with someone, the thought of that happening, first of all, the thought, it's horrific to me to think of being in the situation where your partner is basically just not there mentally, right? He's taking care of her for a long time. Like, you hear stories about how that gets to people. It wears them down, right? He tries to give her a peaceful way out. He gets that one tinge of hope, like she moves. Oh my God, I've made a mistake. Throw up the poison, but then she drops down on the fucking thing, and then she wakes up again when he's gonna. Bruh, how fucking bad? This is like a Tales from the Crypt fucking story, right. Like 50s EC. So I think it's the best one structurally, and just. I also like the whole idea about stories having morals, right? But sometimes it doesn't always go that way. But then we'll get into that. But one of my favorite things about the structure of this is that even though I don't necessarily like that last story as much as the other two that came before it, and it won't even count the prologue. That was just, I don't know what the hell that was like a demo reel to do a Lovecraft film.
Right, right.
But the way they tie it together at the end, when she's like, no, sometimes the good guy just gets away. But no, her story does become that morality tale, that you get what you deserve, the just desert story, which is filled, like all of those EC horror comics are just desert stories, basically, where somebody does something heinous and they get what they deserve, right? So I like it for that. I like the structure overall for that. But the one segment that I would watch over and over again, and even have people watch, like, be like, duh, yeah, we're not going to watch this whole movie, but watch this one segment, will be the dick explosion.
Right.
Baby. Yeah. I mean, I'm serious as shit. Like, you give me an hour and a half on that, I'd be happy, man. That's like crazy. That's like wild. That's like Teeth, but another level of it. It's like, I'm down for that.
Say you had like kids, and then like in the future, like, so instead of the talk, I got a little something I'm gonna show.
Yeah, I got a movie. You double wrap that shit with rubber bands,
So-
man, or this shit's gonna happen.
You don't
So
want
do you think that? Do you think that?
condom,
You think that dude
about
actually?
victim, man.
You think that dude actually survived that blown up dick or what?
Hell,
No,
he looked
died.
kind of
Bled
dead, right?
out.
Yeah.
Pretty dead, man.
no.
Because it wasn't just like his, y'all. If y'all didn't watch this movie, you got to.
Yeah, no,
Because
it's
it's
just
not
so
just like
fun.
his dick blows off, like that whole,
Well,
like
fun.
his taint,
Yeah.
his fucking asshole, like every fucking bit down there blows off, man.
Oh, dude. Well, that shit. Like, even as a woman, that shit's all ripping.
Well,
man.
what about the bit too when? So he's part of the fraternity, right?
Yeah, get
what about
ready,
the-
Vern.
What about the bit when they're all lifting him up to
Oh,
put his
yeah.
banner up, and he like just,
Yeah.
just like fucking
What is it?
shit cum or shit, like I don't know what the fuck it is. It felt like an ass explosion.
Did
It
his
also
water
seemed like
break?
his water was breaking,
Yeah,
right?
Right.
But I love it because
the
he
dude's mouth.
basically spooges over everybody,
Yes.
and then there's a slight pause, and then they just all kind of lower him.
Yeah.
Like what's your? I love that bit, man.
His
I was
performance
laughing
throughout
out
that whole
loud for
thing.
5 minutes.
Like his
He's
agony, like he does a great job of mixing like comedic. Like it's funny. It's probably the funniest one, but he has a way of like making you laugh at his agony in a way that isn't, it's subtle. It's very subtle. But the other thing I'll throw in about the story you talked about, Robbie, the coma one, is the elevator scene. That like dramatic,
With the
slow
old lady.
motion, beautiful. She's all freaky as she comes out. They're kissing, the ring goes on. Like that was really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah. And that dude was in another story too, wasn't he? Like the husband in that story was in another story, and I can't remember which one it was.
Just a little bit in the Babysitters. That's the only one that I noticed him
Yeah.
from.
He's in there for some reason. What was he?
He's the guard. He's the guard at the sanitarium.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
So, all right. Hell yeah. I love that though. I think that was cool. Where the fuck are we at? I'm sorry. I just completely got distracted. Well, when I hit these things, you can't hear music right now, right?
No.
That's awesome.
Which story was your favorite?
Dylan?
Yeah, we have already discussed it. But yeah, Dylan, what's your favorite? I bet it's Dick Explosion.
I do love that one. I'm trying to think.
I do love me some good dick explosion.
I love me a good Dick Exploding baby.
I don't want to sell the Babysitter one
honestly,
short.
man,
Like, it was really
honestly,
good.
I like all of them, to be completely honest. But yeah, I would probably go the Dick Explosion just because that's like, it's just so fucking memorable. And you just like can't get it out of your head. Just exploding dick, man. And the guy's just a great actor. And just as a guy, you know what I mean? It just hits a little bit harder. To a woman, they'd be like, yeah, you see what I'm fucking saying? Like,
Yeah, that's
when you want to run your fucking mouth that I didn't carry that kid for 9 fucking months struggling. Like,
I also love the fucking montage where they're like all in these different positions, like going over all night
but
long.
they're just showing the clock.
Yeah, he's Superman. It's like props to him.
She's Superwoman, man.
Yeah, it's true.
Jesus.
I love the bit. It's like they're bagging. They're all these different positions. It goes from midnight, and at like 4:45, you just see her smack him in the face, and then they're right back at it. It's like, what happened there? Was that part of it? Is that when she found out there was no condom?
He tried to backdoor lover.
Wrong hole, fool.
With your lamps down.
Yeah, bro. I was thinking that earlier. I was thinking that earlier today. So funny you said it. Wrong hole, fool.
Classic.
What did you guys think about the style and structure? Robbie?
I like the structure, but I don't like the pacing. So there's something in the writing that's kind of slowing this movie up. It comes in at about an hour 50, right? I think an hour 40 would have made this movie better. I don't know what to cut. I would have cut out that whole opening story. I think that's dumb. I don't even know why that's there. It takes like 20 minutes for the movie to get going, right? And then it hits a point, and then it slows up again. It has to get going again. That's a problem with a lot of anthologies. But like, look at Creepshow. They did that like pop, 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 and that's a 2-hour movie, but it has more stories, right? But this one, I think there's something off with the pacing. It could be kind of tightened up a little bit, but I do like the overall story where Clancy Brown's character, the mortician, the tall man. I keep wanting to say Tom Clancy so bad. So like, his whole idea about how he's like that old-fashioned guy. Like stories have to have a moral. They have to have a point. There's an underlying message behind everything. And then the girl who's like, No, sometimes they just get away. And then the big reveal at the end, that's the one that I really saw coming. Like I was like, she's the killer. Like they're setting it up to be the reverse of what we're seeing on TV because it's so obvious that they're homaging Carpenter there, right? And they also homage Carpenter with the music. Like I know, I hope that Dylan wants to spotlight the music because the music in that bit,
so
holy
good.
cow! So anyway, so I love, like I said, that bit at the end when she's like the new school approach to horror stories where no, the bad guy just gets away like Jason. There is no moral like reason for this. There's no story. There's no lesson to be learned, but there is because it happens to her. She gets her just desserts. So I really like that. The movie though could be tightened up a little bit. The cinematography though does look good. At first though, it does kind of come across like it's going to be this whimsical kind of dumb thing. I don't know. It just felt like a Disney movie thing at first,
right?
But it very quickly gets away from that. But it just could be tightened up a little bit. I think it would make it stronger film coming in at about 135 to 140.
For sure.
The music kind of like it kind of confuses you at first because it kind of does have that kiddish feel, but like when you go back and rewatch it, knowing what the movie is already.
But when you get through it, you realize that
you're like, holy shit, that music.
In each story, the music is doing something different for that story. And so that's a part of it with the framing device because it does kind of feel like, I don't know, it just kind of feels like what's like Satan's Little Helper or even fucking Bad Moon had some of that too.
It's got a little bit of a Harry Potter feel at the beginning.
Did you see Satan's Little Helper is finally getting a freaking release?
Yeah, I did. I hope PCP's a part of that in Horror Fest.
I pre-ordered it on Amazon. I think it's like $20. It comes out right before Halloween.
It's so good, man. I just wish. Anyway, we're moving on.
You just what?
It's just nothing.
Yeah, you reviewed that one, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. That sister in that movie is so fucking hot. I just wish we maybe got to see a little bit more of her.
Dude,
that's all I'm trying.
She's so hot. She's in a show called Vikings too, and she's even hotter in that. Vern, what did you think about the style and structure?
I mean, we kind of hit on the structure. I think it's great. I think, as we said, the way it's weaved in together. I like that you pointed that out, Robbie, because I hadn't really thought about like that. Like, it is hard to keep the pacing flowing with an anthology because you do. That's the nature of a story. Is you got to reel us in and speed up the pace and get to a climax, and then this has to keep stopping and doing that again. And that is probably why it does have pacing issues. It's just super tricky.
And horror anthology is the hardest thing to pull off.
Right.
It's so hard. And especially from the ones that have worked, it's like it's one of the hardest things, I feel like.
That's why I think Creepshow's the best one because it just uses the comic book animation framing device. And that works so well.
Even though that's like anthology episodes.
Yeah.
That's another one that.
But even like Tales from the Dark Side suffers from it a little bit too, because who gives a shit about that kid and the witch? Like at a certain point, you just don't even care. You know?
See, and that's kind of my point. Is I did care, like, about especially the Tom Clancy character or Clancy Brown. I did care about him. I did care about their story. I was intrigued why the girl was so insistent on looking inside the casket and all that, and I didn't get that she was going to be the killer for sure. But stylistically, I kind of pointed out already. But the lighting, I will say, is really, really goddamn good throughout the whole thing. Like, I love the lighting, I love the look of it. I know we're gonna get into the music, but the music is fire too. And I thought it was super well done. It didn't, to me, seem low budget in the least bit. But that opening, like you said, the opening credit or first 3 minutes is weird. It looks like you're watching a different kind of movie, and that's unfortunate because a lot of people might just streaming like, oh, never mind, this isn't for me, and they'll miss out on a really good film.
What makes it feel low budget to me is that opening, and it's like the use of not so good CG, right? And when I say cheap, I mean like cheap on a Doctor Who BBC level. Right. Like I was getting these like Doctor Who vibes, like where it's like, we're not going to like just completely give nothing to the CG department, but we're just going to give them just enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you watch Doctor Who, I mean, I know there are a lot of Whovians out there. I don't want to offend anybody, but
No, but yeah, they know
I mean,
it.
come on, you know what I'm
They
saying?
know it.
And like a lot of TV today, even Sandman has some of that kind of
Well, like the
wishy-washy CG at times, right?
Oh,
So,
dude,
but it
speaking
fits
of
with
Sandman, that
Sandman.
was fantastic show.
yeah, I'm only 8 episodes through, so I got 2 episodes left, but I'm digging it, man. Especially as a fan of Sandman, I'm really.
I never read the comics, man, but I'd watched a review of someone who also didn't read the comics, and then they started to read the comics, and I think they only read like volume 1 or something. And they were like, "I'm glad I stopped because I guess it's like it's a straight adaptation."
It's pretty close. Yeah, I read most of them back in the 90s.
I will.
Not that they were avoiding, but the 2 episodes I loved I loved the diner episode 5, and the episode where he meets, and the episode where he meets that guy in the inn every 100 years. I love that one.
Yeah, Hob. Yeah, that's a good one. They did that one so fantastic.
Yeah,
anyway, back to this movie.
I want to second what Scarp had said earlier about the look of the mortuary and the set design there. That kind of sold me right off the bat too.
It doesn't seem that cheap.
Yeah, the mortuary looks
cheap
There's a lot of detail.
In a Doctor Who kind of way. Like it felt like a BBC show. Do y'all get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I
think that
100%
beginning,
agree.
I think that was I don't think that was as much that was a stylistic choice to make it appear that way.
Right.
Except for the first
I think that was a budgetary necessity.
Except for the first story, if you're talking about the dragon, yeah, that first one was the CGI was terrible. And that's to me is your point. I think is well taken. I think they should have cut the whole first episode. It wouldn't have mattered to the movie at all. It would have saved that time, and it would have flowed better.
Right. Even though I didn't dislike it.
I'm not trying to make anybody. No, I'm sorry. I said, I'm going to recant the cheap thing. I don't want people thinking that the dude that loved the cinematography on Pieces thinks that this looks cheap. Okay, that's all I'm trying to. Okay,
I think the framing device. I love that. I think stylistically that's great. The second story and the third story, stylistically, were filmed unbelievable. And all the stuff that happened in the apartment with the wife. And then all the stuff that happened in the when he's giving birth in that house, her mother and stuff. I love that. All that stuff is great. But as I said, I think what would have helped this movie a lot more, in my opinion, would have went up a little bit more was if that first story wasn't there. Yeah. I think that because it just doesn't add anything to it.
But I do like how the mortuary, the head of the mortuary, he's even like, I like how she's judging his stories the whole time.
Yeah,
so it almost excuses them. She's like, that's not a good story.
Yeah,
we're thinking the same thing. He's like, oh, well, I've got better. I'm just getting warmed up.
Yeah.
So I like how they did that.
That's why I feel like the first one works because it's just a taste, It's him just kind of like thinking like, she ain't serious. This is just some shit that'll scare her, And he's like, oh, she actually had, she's a little crazy.
Right.
But I think it looks great, man. I love the cinematography. I love the style, the structure. I love this movie, man. I think it's great. It's one I definitely got to pick up physically for a Shudder release. I definitely want to. This is one for that is worthy of being in the physical media collection. That's how much I like it for sure. Because that's one thing. I love physical media. Y'all know that. But I won't just buy a movie just because it's like a horror movie. You know what I mean? Or if it's like part of a series, you know what I mean? Like Exorcist 2 I own, but like I still only buy shit that I like. You know what I mean? Like I want to own something that I love. So, and this is one that is definitely worth picking up.
It was a gem.
But let's dive into the music, man. Let's see. I'll start first, and then we'll go Scarpet and go around. Unless Robbie wants to start it first, I don't know.
I want to fucking start first, man. This is music. This is my thing.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to steal this. Mondo Boys. That's who does the music. Looks like they're a duo. American composer duo, boldly blending a hybrid of timeless melodies into a bleeding edge of modern-day film music. They did the film music for Fat Man, which I've heard about, but I haven't watched. That's the Mel Gibson Santa Claus movie, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Like not a Santa. It's not like a Santa Claus movie. I think it's like a Santa Claus movie. Anyway, but I love the fucking music in this movie, right? So it starts off, it does that whimsical kind of like hocus pocusy type thing, but then it goes into what it's trying to do for the sex story, right? And it's kind of keeping it kind of vibrant but horror, and it's relying more on like your typical kind of strings and shit like that. Then in the story with the husband and his wife, it gets a lot more like somber and like subdued and shit. And then in the last one, which is the babysitter being stalked by the murderer, but who you think is the babysitter and who you think is the murderer is actually flipped. And they're watching basically Halloween on the screen. They go very John Carpenter heavy in that. If you notice, there's a lot of synth. There's a lot of it's totally the best part of the film as far as the music goes. But I love that they intentionally went for the different vibes for each movie. This is a great demo reel for the Mondo boys and for the director of this film to be like, we can do all kinds of subgenres of horror here. But it was the babysitter bit at the end where the music just like, I was like, holy shit, I love the music in that bit. It was so fucking 80s synthwave, driving, creepy, atmospheric, awesome. I loved it.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, man.
It was rather Mondo.
Very Mondo.
I absolutely love it too, man. I know like how you guys thought in the beginning. I loved Hocus Pocus and shit, so it didn't kind of like bother me. I kind of dived right into the music, man. I grew up with a lot of that shit, so the beginning music never bothered me, honestly, even on my first watch. You know, with the kid kind of riding the bike and everything. Because once you see Clancy Brown, you know, like you said, you get those tall man vibes, and you know, it's not rated either, so this is basically an unrated movie. So I didn't really
could have been more
doubt.
Bush, right, Scarpad?
Yeah,
But,
well, you know, that era is gone. In fact,
Well,
most of the nudity in this movie was male nudity. So
yeah, what year
go.
do you guys think this film took place? Because they never specified, but I'm looking at like rotary phones, and I'm trying to figure out like from the
But
set.
there's modern stuff. I
Well,
felt like
yeah,
some of the
the
stories,
Mortuary.
some of the stories felt like they were from different eras, right?
They
But
I
could.
think they were trying to throw you off, make it timeless.
Right,
They
I
had-
think you're right.
They had like the TV set and the wife one was a real old fashioned TV, and then some of the stuff is new. So
More,
they were trying to give it this, you know, kind of unreal type of
Right.
feeling,
more
I think
when
unreality.
the timing of the Mortuary is like when that's the real world.
Right,
all
but they all
Mhm.
tied together because that doctor's in all of
Right.
them. So they all
Oh, yeah.
like the frat boys are wearing suits. It's like there's not
Yeah,
many
and-
schools like
the-
that right now.
well, and the husband and wife story, like that's an old school elevator,
Right.
right?
Right.
But
The old building.
like the medicine is new. Like it is weird. It's kind of like the Batman animated series where it is
Right.
trying to do like old school and new school. It's like retro. It's like
Right.
it is trying to do that.
Like the
timeless
Batman,
thing.
like the Batman '89 movie that had a mix of new and old.
Yeah.
I think there was a deliberate attempt to do that.
Yeah.
Do you have any more on the music? Or Dylan Scarpad? Because I didn't. I'll just say everything
I
that
thought-
Robbie said.
The
was
music,
great.
the music was great. I mean, in the parts that were the mortuary parts, it was that whimsical kind of
Mhm.
amazing stories type of music. If you ever watched Spielberg's Amazing Stories, it had that vibe.
Yeah.
And then, but the stories themselves were a little bit more forceful horror stories. So that was a little bit more that type of music. So it was a
Right.
good mix. It was done well.
Right. I'll say that there's some movies where it's like when we did what was it? True Lies on PCP movie night a couple weeks ago, where it's like you don't even really notice the music that much because it's just so typical. And this
pretty dated,
it
yeah.
wasn't like that at all, but I don't have much to add to it, but I'll just say it stands out. Like you can tell like the music is fire while you're watching it,
Yeah.
but I don't
Well,
have
see,
anything
that's
more
the-
to
that's
say.
the
Y'all,
thing.
did any of y'all notice it in the? I'll just keep calling it the Carpenter story at the end. That the music went
I
Carpenter.
didn't.
Yeah,
Did y'all notice that?
but I think
Oh,
yeah.
because
I
of
love how
that,
it differentiates each story.
exactly,
You know?
because each story had a different type of music, and then
Yeah.
the first framing thing had that kind of music that is timeless. You can't say this movie's, if you're watching it 10 years from now, you can't say, oh, gee, this was made in the 80s. But you know what? True Lies, you watch it now, you can really tell that movie was made in the 90s or late 80s.
Right. Yeah.
It's dated with the music. It doesn't have the type of music that is timeless. This one was timeless.
Mm-hmm.
Hells yeah.
Well, Jamie Lee Curtis is timeless in that movie. I'll tell you that. You know what I'm saying? No, you know what I'm saying? Pop, pop, boom.
No, so one thing, I guess,
Pop, pop,
for
the whole scene of Jamie Lee Curtis dancing for Arnold would never work now because no one has a fucking tape recorder that you can go back and forth, back and forth, back.
Yeah, he needed that talk boy Home Alone too.
Tactical. Try doing that on your fucking phone. Your phone when you're trying to hit the things in the dark. Forget it.
It also would never happen now because it's the sleaziest fucking thing. Using the government's resources to get your wife to striptease to you, thinking she's doing some kind of world-saving spy event. Come on.
Yeah, it was definitely not PC.
Still awesome. Still awesome.
That's right.
We don't need it PCP. We just need a PC. Fuck, I fucked that up. Never mind. Never mind. Move on, Dylan. What's going on?
For what this movie's trying to say, are we gonna do it on each story, or just as a whole? Or we could do each short and then.
How about let that be up? Let that be up to the panelist.
Well, all right.
Whoever you call on.
We're gonna do them all, and I'm gonna start with you, because I'm sure you can get it done.
All right. First story. Don't steal shit from people. An octopus.
Yeah.
Elder god's gonna fucking reach out and kill you. The next story is use protection when you have sex, and don't. That's the whole thing about we can live in a sex positive world, but be responsible. Sex responsibility. That's what that one's about, right?
Yeah.
The next one is about fuck, bro. I don't know, man. Just don't kill your wife. Just stay there. Feed her. I don't fucking know, man. But that one's just like that one basically is kind of like a whole don't try to take the easy way out. Right. Yeah. That's what that one is. And then the final thing, which ties it all together, is that they all are just dessert story. Even when you think that the good guys lose and the bad guys win, no. Every happy ending turns into a bad ending if you let the story go long enough. So that's what I think.
Boom.
Oh, yeah.
And really, now, did he really even have to? He got her to cough up the pills, right? I remember correctly.
Right.
She coughed.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but then she got impaled by the fucking.
Right, she face planted into the whatever the fuck that was.
Now here's my problem there.
But hold on.
Sorry.
He could have called the cops at that point. I mean, it was an accident.
That's my point.
Comatose. She was eating something. She fell into the thing.
That was my problem with that story. From that point right there, like, why does the doctor say you need to throw her in the ocean and hope the sharks take care of the rest? Don't call me back. Just do it. It's like, why? Why not? Yeah, exactly what you said.
If you can't get the stuff out of her, but he did.
Well, he said it was untraceable.
It was untraceable.
Yeah, untraceable. So that doesn't make any sense.
That was whack. A little bit. Station Perry.
Yeah, Perry Station.
I will say, I mean, the first one, like it's pretty cut and dry. If you do shady shit, you're gonna, no matter how small you think your crime was or how small your sin was, and this is kind of the theme of the whole thing in most movies in general, it's gonna come back and get you in the end. Even if it's you don't get caught, usually your conscience will get you back or something. You're not getting away with too much in this world. The second one, we all touched on it earlier. It's like, don't be a dickhead to girls. Don't just bang some chick and then ghost her the next day. Don't get some girl pregnant and then not take care. Be responsible. And, if you're going to bang some chick, be responsible.
Yeah, don't be a dickhead or you'll lose your dickhead.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
To add to the third one, I'll say, like, what I took out of it as a man that's getting married at some point, I'm engaged, I don't know when it's going down, but it's happening, is sickness or health till death do you part. So that's the big thing. He's even saying that over and over at the end, till sickness and health, till death do us part. If you make those vows, man, you better be taking care of her until death do you part, and vice versa. And then the end, I don't know, it's a slasher. Slashers don't have morals. Whatever Robbie said is right. I'll just say that.
Huh. Well, she gets her comeuppance.
Right.
You know, she gets what she's like, no, sometimes the bad guy gets away. But
he's
she
like,
doesn't.
nah. Yeah, exactly.
And now she's stuck in the role that the tall man had.
Sequel.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't work without the tall man.
There'll be another horror anthology. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing. But this, has this dude done anything else? Because I want to see that. Like I want to see him do. I really feel like this is 3 movies put together, right? And the framing stuff is kind of secondary. It's kind of auxiliary. But I would love to see him tackle something on his own fully. Like I don't know how this did for Shudder. I don't know if Shudder pays attention to stuff like that because they got a shit ton of originals. It's like any horror project that can't find distribution. Shudder's like, we got you, bro.
Right.
We got you.
It looks like he's done a handful of things. I don't know how many of them are short stories, but he's been making film of some sort since 2007, and he's got about 6 projects that he's made. I don't know what they all are, how many are feature films or not.
Yeah, he doesn't even have a wiki page. Ryan Spindell.
Yeah.
Weird.
That's cool. That's what's exciting though.
Somebody give him some fucking money.
Yeah, I would be excited to see his next project for sure. I'd be all over it.
Yeah, he's someone to watch. Definitely. I really enjoyed this film. I think it's great. Good rewatchability.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have anything else you want to throw in there? Or you guys want to get into the rating?
I would say definitely make sure that you drink at least 64 ounces of water every day, because if you pass a kidney stone through your dick, it will explode just as much as that guy had in that movie.
I'll give a shout out.
Dude, his dick looked like a loaf of bread, dude. Did you see that? Like it was the quickest little bit, but it was like a loaf of bread, just like I don't know, man. Came out of his
like
dick.
a hot dog roll.
Yeah.
I'll shout out the casting, whoever did casting, because I love everybody. I think everybody is really good in the film. Like the doctor that we've mentioned a few times just throughout the whole thing, he's great. When he's in there and he realizes that the guy is pregnant and he's, oh, this must be wrong. He goes and he looks up, checks out, okay, he's got a dick. Like, what's going on here? Like he's fantastic throughout the whole thing. Really funny.
He is good. Everybody's good in that. The husband in that bit where they're all really good. Everybody's good in this film.
But I think the guy would have been best served to go to a real hospital than to go to a crazy mother's little birthing area.
Right. I think he was dying either way.
He did go to a real hospital, bro. The dude was like, I don't know what to do, man.
Oh, come on. Somebody said it in the chat. It's, an ass cesarean. It's a lot easier coming out that way than the other way.
Cut this shit out of me before it explodes out my dick.
Right, yeah. Like, it just won't work that way.
Oh, I want to throw in a little honorable mention to the nerdy sidekick in the dick exploding story.
Yeah.
He got a great voice, little nerdy voice, like the way he is. Like, I don't know. He was really good too. Everybody was great.
Than me.
Yeah, you would. Oh, yeah, I would. Yeah, he would know better. Typical nerd. I want to know if his voice really sounds like that.
That's really weird that you know that. He's like keeping score how many fucking chicks his best friend bangs.
Right. What kind of fraternity is that too? When you bang 67 chicks, we throw on weird green KKK looking hoods and lift you up in a chair.
7 members that created the fraternity or something.
And they all got some spoo in each mouthful. So what we need to know, Vern, is now that you've watched this movie, will you be going into the delivery room?
Yes, but I will wear the proper. I will go in like I'm going to a Gallagher show. You know what I mean? Nice tarp.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna watch It's Alive before he goes in there, man.
So let's get into the rating. Well, out of 1 to 5, man, I almost was thinking of changing, like going to like freaking lettering. Is that like A, B, like A plus, A minus?
1 to 5 is good.
I've seen.
We go to lettering, we can't do our 69.
Hey, A plus 0.69.
Well,
I've said forever 10. I love how Robbie would be like, it's 3.5. So it's like a 10 out of or 7 out of 10. It's like, why not just do 10? So it's much simpler to do the math.
Yeah.
That's the way everybody grades. That's enough.
We could do stars.
I don't know why I ever did 5, but
because Robbie does 5. That's
probably. But Scarpack, you want to start it off, and anyone in the chat that was able to watch the Mortuary collection from 2019, throw your rating down below in the chat.
I am giving the Mortuary collection a whopping 2.5.
What?
That's a good value.
It's respectable.
It's halfway there.
I think 3 is where you hit respectable. I think 2.5 means you didn't really like it, but that's okay.
He's throwing some shade.
No, I'm not throwing shade.
No. I'm saying if you're dropping 2.5, you're throwing a little shade.
Yeah, you're throwing a little bit of shade. You spilling some tea. You know what I'm saying?
I'll jump in. Let me just say this. After I watched this the first time, I was like, it's a fucking 5.
But don't you think most
movies a genius?
Come on.
I was thinking like better watch out. Like this was comparable to that because it was a newer gem. But after letting it settle for a little bit, it does have a little bit of issues here and there. It's a little too long, as we mentioned. There's pacing issues, and there's what you pointed out, Scarpad, like that bit where he doesn't just call the cops and be like, "You're never gonna believe what happened. She smashed her head into a hair statue and she's dead." That would have been fine. I mean,
in a movie where the guy's dick explodes, you give it a little bit of a suspension of disbelief.
I'm going to go with it's still a very, very good score. Like, I loved it. I think it's one of the better movies that I can remember us watching in a minute. So I'll go 4.25. Loved it. And I highly what's cool about this movie is I feel like I could recommend this to almost anyone that likes horror movies. If you're into horror at all, no matter what generation, I'd be like, dude, definitely check out Mortuary Collection. It was really enjoyable.
Yeah, and then somebody who likes just like these like I only like The Haunting and The Conjuring, and then they watch this movie and they're like, by golly, exploding dicks.
Exploding dicks? Really? I don't know. I think most modern audiences would dig this.
I think so too. Especially
I don't know.
I think because it's on Shudder, a lot of people don't get to see it because a lot of modern.
I don't know though, because I don't know about that because let's face it,
is mainstream.
The anthology is a most kids don't know what an anthology is. I mean, it's a dated form. Night Gallery, Twilight Zone.
Well, Trick or Treat was pretty popular.
Yeah, Trick or Treat.
Isn't Black Mirror an anthology thing? Wasn't that popular?
Yeah, I suppose.
People know what anthology is.
It depends on if it's good. I mean, and really, to you guys, to what we mentioned, the framing is so important. I think that's the most important thing in an anthology.
Well, not everything on Shudder is good, though.
Shudder isn't really big at branding, trade. Like you don't see a lot of branding wise. Like you don't see huge trailers and shit coming. Like, oh, this is coming, this new Shudder exclusive. They're still not in. Like to me, they're mainstream horror. But to a regular person that might even be a horror fan, they might not even know what Shudder is. You know what I mean? Someone that's just like, oh, I like I like horror, but they're not like crazy about it. You know what I mean? Like, I've been on fucking Shudder since it's come out. Honestly,
I definitely think it's worth a watch.
I just got it a month ago. To your point, Dylan, like I didn't have Shudder, and I've been doing this show for a few months, and then I got it.
Yeah.
First time I got Shudder, I was like, I have all of these.
Yeah, I bet.
So you said 4.25?
Yes, sir.
Nice. All right, Robbie, what are you thinking, man?
I'm going to go 3.5. I think it's really good. It's got the pacing issues. I think it could be kind of it could be, tightened up a little bit. Not every story hit. 2 of the stories were outstanding, but it didn't, for an anthology, and we've seen plenty. You got to be tighter on those framing sequences for me. You got to do like Creepshow did, where you got the framing sequence of the comic book, but you have the story that's at the beginning and the end, the bookends, right? This one kept trying to go back in between, and it kind of stunted it a little bit. But I think it's enjoyable. I don't know if I would rewatch the entire. I will rewatch the entire film. I don't know how often, but I will make sure that everybody that I know that likes horror films has seen the goddamn exploding dick bit at least. Like I think that any horror fan should definitely check this movie out. I think it's pretty solid. Music's great. 3.5.
You should put that exploding dick pic in the next intro for DHS. What do you think you two would think of that?
Well, right now it doesn't matter, but once he hits 1K, which we're on the road to, they'll care.
So I think this film is great, and for it being a Shudder exclusive, it's one of my favorites that Shudder has put out. Just straight to their streaming service. I'm thinking a 3.69, dude.
Bro.
I was gonna say 3.75, but I figured 69.
Let's not go crazy.
I went crazy,
Yeah.
evidently. I stand by it.
Well, I was.
You toned it down from your initial
was gonna be
5.
4 was gonna be my highest, but then I was like 7.5.
Oh, see, I think if you're grading 3 out of 5, wouldn't you say that the majority of movies come in around a 3?
3. Yeah. Oh,
The
yeah.
majority of the movies I watch coming in at 4 because I try to watch
This
Right.
one is a
As
little
we know
more yeah, regularly it'd be like a 6. So like this one's more enjoyable. So it's like a 7.5 for me. You know.
What is if
Like
I can
82.
ask a question to you guys that have watched many more horror films than I have? What's your favorite anthology? Is it Creepshow? I know I watched your guys' review on Creepshow, Robbie and Dylan.
Movie or TV shows?
Movie, film,
Movies?
horror
Creepshow.
film anthology. I like Creepshow 2 much better than 1, but I grew up with 2.
No,
I
man.
grew
I
up with 2.
love the first
Oh,
two
man, no.
segments. I love the first 2 segments.
And somebody told me there's a
Creepshow
Creepshow 3. I don't think I've ever seen
Creepshow,
that
the
either.
original Creepshow.
They did eventually do a Creepshow 3, but it's not
Trick or Treat.
King or Romero or nothing. So.
Trick or Treat probably would be my favorite.
I'm trying to think, but I would say Creepshow.
Trick or
Yeah.
Treat's a really good one too, though. Trick or Treat's really good.
Creepshow,
Trick or Treat and Creepshow. You're right.
Those are the 2 best. Definitely.
Nice.
Trick or Treat's so good
Tales
because
from the Crypt is my favorite show.
Trick or Treat's framing sequence is the holiday of Halloween. That's what's so brilliant about that one. So it never has to lull. It never has to go back and restart. It's always moving. Trick or Treat might be the best as far as structure goes.
Dude,
but I got a big thing for Creepshow, man.
Do people tend to love that
that
Stephen King bit? I hate that. Like
Oh,
I fucking
Meteor
can't
shit.
stand it.
Meteor
I don't. He drives me nuts in it.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
You're right. I would say Trick or Treat might be. I was forgetting Trick or Treat for some reason, but you might be right. I think Trick or Treat edges out over Creepshow because every story in that is something I never feel bored.
You get Adrian Barbeau.
Dude, that one's fucking iconic, and it is. I mean, so is Creepshow.
They're both 5 you dig movies for me, though. If you check my reviews, I gave both of them 5 you dig. So
you guys already did it.
I would probably.
We did Trick or Treat in the pre-Dylan in the pre-DHS days. Actually,
yeah, on
your channel on Dylan's comic book rants
on Halloween. I think it was on a Halloween day, and it was right before I was going to see the original Halloween 1 and 2 at the drive-in for Halloween night. So I remember we were doing it, and I was like, dude, I'm about to go see Halloween
that means
1 and 2 at the drive-in.
It's still on the table for a future Dylan's Horror Show or PCP for Horror Fest. It's still on the table. So
yeah, I might, man. Next year I'll probably do it on Halloween day again, honestly, since we'll be like 3 years in, we'll probably be at past 1K. So I'll do it again definitely next year. And you can always do it yourself too,
Right, it, man. But yeah, it's Creepshow or Trick or Treat, man. Those are the best.
So good.
Nothing else comes close. I'm thinking like Tales from the Crypt.
But Tales from the Crypt is.
They got Tales from the Hood, Tales from the Crypt.
Tales from the Dark Side, but like
Dark Side.
I've never seen Body Bag, so
Twilight Zone the movie.
I love
Twilight Zone the movie. Yeah, it's I can't think of many that's going to come close to those.
No, it's hard. I mean, there's not too anthologies are tough to do.
They're in the list for sure.
The
They're
stories
in the top
suck.
10. Those ones that make the top 10 for sure.
But the thing I didn't like about Twilight Zone the movie is they did basically remakes of the episodes. I think 3 out of the 5 stories were remakes, and they tried to remake Nightmare, and the best stories. And to me, they should have tried coming up with their own stories instead of remakes. That's why I would.
This one's only 2 movies, but Two Evil Eyes is really good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would count that because it's 2 movies.
Yeah,
Two Evil Eyes is really good. Yeah. And Cat's Eye. I was looking at a list, and they show Cat's Eye, Trick or Treat, Creepshow, Southbound.
There's also another movie.
You
guys remember a movie in the 80s called Nightmares? And
I have that.
One of them was about
anthology. I got it right here.
The woman who's picking up hitchhikers. That was pretty good. I kind of remember.
I
haven't seen it in ages, but
it's got one. Emilio Estevez is in one of them.
Emilio,
that was a pretty good one.
And Lance Henriksen is in one.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it yet, but I saw long time ago on VHS, and it was on sale for like $8 on a buy 2 get 1 free.
Yeah.
I picked it up off.
That's not too bad.
There is Trilogy of Terror too.
Oh yeah, but the stories. There's only one good story.
I fucking love Trilogy of Terror.
Yeah, but the Zuni doll is the best one.
And then there's the original Tales from the Crypt.
Well,
movie
with Peter Cushing and whatnot. And
yeah,
Peter Cushing in that. Yeah,
there's a ton of BB.
They did Vault of Horror too, didn't they? Or was that
there's a bunch of English ones.
Yeah, there might be another one or two.
Well, real quick too. Today is National Lizard Day, and as such, what is your favorite lizard or reptile movie? For National Lizard Day.
I literally thought you were just gonna be like, "What is your favorite lizard?" I'm like, "Iguanas are cool."
I'm trying to keep it in genre. What's your favorite reptile or lizard movie? Go ahead, Robbie first.
Well, I gotta think about this because immediately, for some reason, in my head, Mortal Kombat showed up because I love Reptile from Mortal Kombat, but that's not it. That's not it. My favorite. How about this? I don't know if this will count because I don't know if he's officially been classified as a reptile. But how about the original Gojira?
Yeah.
All right, the Japanese Gojira. I'll go with that.
Yeah, he's a
man.
Stuff, yeah, definitely.
Dylan?
I just realized John down there says the same thing. Hammer Time Station.
Yeah, Dylan. Favorite
Jurassic Park. Boom.
Oh, good one.
Original Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that's a stretch. It's one might call it a.
They got lizards.
I do want to say in my top 25, I've got Carnosaur.
I'm surprised no one's picked alligator or crawl or something.
I'm looking.
We haven't gotten to Dylan yet. Dylan's gonna be like Lake Placid, alligator.
I was literally looking at alligator. Lake Placid, that was one. What was the other one you said? Alligator. What was the other one you said? Scarpet.
Crawl.
Crawl is a one that's new. We'll definitely have to. I want to review that after Horror Fest without a doubt because that's a fucking incredible horror movie.
So what are you saying?
I'm looking at this list and it says frogs. Frogs are amphibians. Come on, y'all. Come
on. Now I'm curious. Would you count? It's probably not. But there is an alligator in X, and that was a fire ass movie.
No, it has to be the
main thing.
The main thing. You can almost say eaten alive, but even that's a stray.
Right. I was wondering that too.
It's not really. The alligator must be the protagonist, or the lizard must be the protagonist. So, Dylan, what do you say?
Probably Lake Placid.
No, wait a minute. Hold on. Lake Placid. Was that a lizard?
No, it's a crocodile.
It was a crocodile.
You said reptile. You said our favorite reptile.
Yeah, reptiles are good. All right.
If I have to pick lizard, man, I mean, I don't know how many lizards.
From the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
How about the lizard people in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Hey.
For me, it's gonna be 1959's The Alligator People.
Each other alive.
Check it out.
Nice.
So that's our favorite reptile. Thank you, lizards everywhere.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
But a major shout out to the Lizard Lounge.
That's right.
Because what is the perfect? That line is so perfect in Johnny Depp's delivery. It's something like this place is filled with lizards, and they're I don't know. I don't remember.
Something about like eating each other alive.
Yeah, they're eating each other alive. I don't know. So I gotta watch it, man. PCP movie night, maybe in 2023.
That would be a good one. I tell you what, man. Last time I watched that movie, I was like, "Oh my god, like this fucking gets so dark." Like I had forgot how dark and like disturbing it gets. It's an uncomfortable film at times.
Yeah,
but brilliant.
Yeah, no, mutant ninjas would not be turtles, would not be lizards. No.
Oh,
turtles are reptiles, though.
Yeah, but
you said reptile, bro.
All right, I guess.
Yeah.
You said reptiles because alligators aren't lizards.
Right. Yeah, you're good.
If you want to learn more about Robbie's favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle film, tune into PCP Movie Night this Monday.
That's right, my brother. But a little bit of spoilers, man. Turtles in Time is still, it sucks. It's the worst, man.
Which one was Captain Kirk, the Casey Jones of?
None of them.
Yeah,
you're talking about Stephen Amell. Arrow was Captain.
No, wasn't the guy who played Captain Kirk in one of those? Is Casey Jones?
No, I think you're thinking of Stephen Amell in the new one.
I swore he was in one of those. Chris Pine.
I just
I know
watched
who
them
Ste-
all.
I know who
Chris
Stephen Amell
Pine
is,
is
but
not.
Google
No,
it. I'm
yeah,
pretty sure Chris
me
Pine
and
was
Vern
in it.
just watched them all, man. No Chris Pine in any of those.
Unfortunately, that would have been great.
Definitely thinking of the guy who
He would have
plays Green
he would have been a
Arrow.
better Casey Jones than Stephen Amell. I'll tell you that, man.
Mhm.
Did any of you guys watch Prey?
No,
Yes.
I
Okay.
have not.
Yeah, I watched one again, Mike.
I'm gonna dip out and gather up my show and tell. I got a good show and tell this week, but
Go ahead,
you
grab
guys, talk amongst yourselves about Prey. I'm excited to check it out, but I had to watch
Did you
a
watch
bunch
it?
of fucking
Yeah,
turtle
I
movies
watched
this
it.
week.
Yeah, I would say Predator is still the best. Prey would move
Prey
in my
is-
number.
Prey
Prey's going
is
to move into my
easy second.
number second spot, and then
I think so too.
Third will be Predator 2.
I was talking to Scarpad before about it, and I'm not like the hugest Predator fan. Like I love the first one. I don't even know if I've seen all of them, but I like to judge a movie, and I'm sure you guys do too, about how often it keeps popping back in your head after you've seen it. And I keep thinking about that movie. Like it was really goddamn good. And I will say, I think it's the second best one. Somebody pointed out, it might have been in the PCP Army on Facebook. It's like, is this just what Predator should be? Like, now let's go to feudal Japan and drop a Predator there. Like, just drop a Predator in different eras.
They could do that because that is basically what
And
Predator.
like samurai time, like old
Right.
school
Because
samurai
if you saw Predator 2,
great.
the whole ending with Danny Glover, where you go in and you see the Predator ship, and he has all stuff from all different eras.
Oh,
That gun from this movie or the whatever,
right.
Yeah, and the shields from the samurais. Yeah, they could do that, but then it would it's a bit repetitive to do.
No, for sure. But
No,
I think
but
this
they-
was by
yeah.
far the best one, and it's just not cheesy. Like it's so easy to make a Predator sequel cheesy, and this one there was no cheese at all, in my opinion.
Dude, it was so fucking good. I love the main girl. She's great. I love everything about her. I thought it was great. I love the Predator in it. I think he's so good, man. And I
His
love
mask.
his weapons, his mask, which I gotta know what the hell that freaking mask is.
Yeah, because they kind of
I like his hair.
They
I like that his hair was
redesigned the
thinner,
Predator a
too.
little
It wasn't
bit,
that crazy.
but they still
thick
kept
shit.
him close enough to the original, where you can take that. He's just a different species and a predator, and yeah, I thought it was really good.
It would have been beautiful to see in theaters, without a doubt. You could tell it went like if it would have been in theaters, maybe some of the CGI would have been sharpened up.
Yeah, I think that movie would have done
But I
extremely well.
thought the CGI was fine. I had no problem with any of it. I think it looked fucking great. They used a great amount of practical for the Predator, which was a huge landslide for me, because if they would have fucking done all CGI like the last Predator, that would have kind of taken me out of it a little bit, because I did not like that.
I mean, the main CGI was like the bear, and it looked a little goofy at
Then
bits,
they
but it was
like a
still
little
pretty
bit
good.
to the face.
With the bear and the tiger
Dog.
that was up in a tree. Yeah, whenever they do
Killing that
animals,
bear was crazy.
CGI animals, they can't get them that good, and that was the weakest part of the movie. But everything else was good.
That bear, man, and then the blood all covering him. Dude,
That's
movie.
why it'll be interesting to see how believable that Beast movie that's coming out with the lion will be, because I'm sure that's pretty much all CGI with a little bit of practice.
Oh, without a doubt, man. That's why, like, remember, what is that movie? I always forget the name. The Ghost of the Darkness.
Ghost in the Darkness, yeah.
With that, I gotta pay, dude. I gotta get that Scream Factory version they just released. I love that. movie so
I
much.
thought that was all a long time ago, was it?
It came out like a month or two ago.
Oh,
the Blu-ray. Yeah, I
Yeah.
want it so bad, dude. I love
That's a great movie, yeah.
So great, but that we know that's not gonna. It's trying to be like that, but I don't think it's gonna.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that's going to be on the Peacock as soon as it comes out.
Yeah.
I want to see your peacock.
So Robbie, you got show and tell?
Yeah, I got show and tell, bro. I always have show and tell.
Wait, hold on. Did we get an overall rating for this movie?
Yeah.
What was it?
Something 69. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Point
Oh,
six
the
nine?
overall. I
3.69.
didn't think the
Oh,
overall really mattered, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's always just kind of like a bit, but
You did your 69 bit for your rating,
Right.
which I think would be the average. 3.
the overall score of this movie, I'd say, is like a 7.5 out of 10. So,
That's the 3.
yeah, Ghost of the Darkness with Val Kilmer. Yeah, yes, it did have.
It's Michael Douglas and Val Kilmer, right?
Yeah, it's Michael Douglas and Val Kilmer.
That's a
Val
good movie.
Kilmer's the main guy. Hey,
Val Kilmer's always the main guy, bro. Come on.
It's Michael Douglas.
Right? Now, as far as what's coming up, how many of you guys are going to watch She-Hulk coming up this week?
Oh, I watch everything Marvel, so of course I'm going to watch it, but
I haven't even finished the last 2 series they did. I didn't finish Moon Knight or
fucking struggle to watch those last.
Yeah, Moon Knight was a tough go through.
Miss Marvel was good though. Miss Marvel was good. It fell apart at the end, but I'll tell you this: not only am I watching She-Hulk, you can catch out our review and discussion every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Central Time, starring me, Manny, Fable.
I only tune in if I get a Nick from Comic Culture.
Brooks, Nick did not commit to this one.
That son of a bitch.
I'll let y'all know. Also notice they switched it to Thursdays and not Wednesdays, which kind of totally put a big kerfluffle in it. So,
so Tim Roth is playing the Abomination in this. Is that true?
Yeah, he's played it before though. He was in the first.
No, but it'll be interesting because I mean, if they play him super serious like they did in the first movie, and Hulk, the main Hulk character, is a chump, man, that's gonna suck.
I'm expecting this to kind of go along with the John Byrne run, comedic, breaking the fourth wall. That's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I'm expecting.
But that Tim Roth character can't be played the same way, though.
Miss Marvel, the first 2 episodes were so good, and that shit went so downhill.
Yeah, to me,
those last 2 episodes
worse than any show I've ever fucking seen.
Those last 2 episodes of Miss Marvel really tanked it, man.
Oh, dude,
because it was so solid in those first 3, especially.
She leaves New Jersey, it goes all downhill.
They need to do
if you watch the review and discussion with me and the Bad Batch, that's exactly what that was our journey, man.
They never should have left. They should have waited.
Well, they should have left in season 2, probably.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what we said. Pakistan was a season 2 thing.
I fucking had to literally muster through the last 2 episodes just to see some stupid ass post credit scene with Captain Marvel that makes no fucking sense at all.
Yeah, but dude, man, let me tell you something. Bree's looking good, bro. Bree's looking good. You know what?
What about
the
Lord of the Rings series? Are you anybody gonna be watching that?
What's the Lord of the Rings?
I have a feeling it's gonna be dog shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
I don't know. I've heard, and then also I think isn't the Games of Thrones prequel dropping?
Yeah, that I'm gonna watch.
That'll be cool. I don't know.
We'll fucking see how many people they bring back. How many people did they burn with Game of Thrones? Let's be honest. Come on.
But the thing is,
people are distracted right now. They don't give a shit about that, man.
Knowing you know the ending and it sucked. Do you want to watch prequel to see how it all started?
This is all about the Targaryens. This is how when they were ruling the Empire and riding dragons and shit. They're supposed to have like spin-off shows, and they're gonna have like a Jon Snow movie or show.
Yeah, but I think the ending of the 8th season killed all that. So
they're gonna have a prequel, House of Dragon, which is about the Targaryens, and then it looks like they're gonna continue where the show maybe left off with a couple characters.
My question is going to be, is this based on previous works of George R.R. Martin? Because the last season, the season unanimously people would say is the worst season, was the one that wasn't. So I don't trust the show is so good because those books are fucking incredible. So when it's no longer based on the source material, I don't have the same kind of faith.
How many books are there now? 5? They're still only on 5? 5 out of what? 7?
That's what he says. And he's like 130 years old. He's like, I'll be fine. I feel great.
It took the Dark Tower a long time to finish. It was like 20 years, but 22 years. How long has it been going? How long since the first Game of Thrones book? That's what, Song of Fire and Ice, right?
Dude, man, like
two other things we're getting is, I think, at the end of this week, the anthology version of The Walking Dead is coming out. The Tales from The Walking Dead.
They're still doing Walking Dead shows?
Yeah, the Tales of the Walking Dead anthology.
AMC's like, what do we do?
It's an 8-episode anthology series. Kind of looks interesting.
You know what? That could be good. That could be decent.
It's got some stuff in it with
Daryl's getting his own show.
Some of the characters from the original and other situations that we didn't see. Some of it looks like it may be slightly comedic, and that's okay. And then the same day, the final 8 Walking Dead season 11 wind-up stories go on. So
They're still doing Walking Dead?
They're still walking.
Eight more episodes to end it. We'll see how, obviously it can't end like the comics since both Carl is dead and spoiler.
Yeah. Hey, Dylan, Zach has got a good question. What's next week's movie?
I know. I saw that. Next week we will be reviewing. Hold on, let me see.
He doesn't remember.
No,
I think he's looking for his DVD.
Oh, he's grabbing the DVD. He's grabbing the Blu-ray. Okay.
God damn, man.
Oh,
Clive Barker's Nightbreed.
Nice.
The director's cut. Now you're gonna be watching
So we're doing the director's cut, is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, that's what Scream Factory.
Well, you could do the theatrical
That's
too.
the one that you're gonna only be able to find too, bro.
But isn't
well,
both
there is a
versions on that
theatrical.
disc?
There's the theatrical and
if you own it on DVD or if you own the really expensive out of print Scream Factory.
Well, Scream
version.
Factory's got one that's like $200 and something now because it's out of print. But
Yeah,
there's an
go ahead,
Arrow
pick that one up.
Region B
Yeah,
that has both. So.
Oh well, I don't have Region B. You know that. So
I'll watch whatever's streaming.
The director's cut really only adds like a couple minutes, so it's not that big.
It
of
says
a
it
deal.
added 40 minutes. I've never seen the director's cut.
No,
But I was looking it up. It
doesn't
said it
that
added
much.
40 minutes of new material.
No.
It might be 2 minutes of the film and then 38 minutes of special
Did
features.
anybody look up where that's streaming? Is that for the people in the audience that? don't
I'll
have
look
the
it
disc?
up right now.
I'm sure Tubi usually always has it.
No, was Nightbreed was that a Charles Band?
No,
My man just said it was a Clive Barker, right?
no, he's
Clive
saying I
Barker.
think the company that put it out, but I know.
Oh,
Now, who put out
Nightbreed.
Hellraiser? It was probably the same company, right? Was that Hollywood Pictures that didn't? I'm thinking of Hollywood Pictures for some reason with Hellraiser, which was the Sphinx logo. You remember that?
Yeah.
It's on Tubi. Oh shit! It's on Peacock. All right, I get to watch it without commercials. It's on Amazon Prime for free. That might have commercials. Boom.
No, that wouldn't have commercials. No.
Well, they actually do have some that have commercials.
Yeah, it's on Peacock. It's on Pluto. It's on.
Hour and 42 is
It
the
does have
director's.
commercials on Amazon Prime, free with
Yeah.
ads on Amazon.
I wonder if the director's cut has like different takes or something. Then I don't know, or maybe I read something wrong and it was like 40 minutes of new features. Like Verno was.
It's
I
longer.
think it's 20 minutes longer.
I haven't seen Nightbreed in a long ass time.
It
I won't
tried
know
to
the
say
difference.
it has like 45 minutes of new footage, but that's bullshit, man.
I know that version director cut is pretty long.
Because, dude, dude, if there's that much footage, the director's cut is literally it's only 2 hours long.
Okay, well,
Like
the regular
They don't-
version is an hour 42. So
that's what I'm saying. So there's only like an extra 18.
There may
minutes.
be,
That's a
but
lot.
what I'm saying is there may be alternate takes that they use instead. They may
Absolutely.
cut some things out and add in some different.
Right.
I want to
alternate
get the
takes or something.
theatrical. I know some people say the theatrical is a little.
I think I'm going to get the Arrow
Way
one. I saw it
better.
today for like $20 on Amazon. I think I'll get. It won't be
I
here
need to get
in
it,
time,
dude.
but
I
want to
get
see
a
both. I
Region
wanna
free player, but yeah, I want to see them both. I know that.
we'll next week is the
Clive-
director's cut. We'll just clarify that because that's what you're going to be able to watch.
Yeah, Nightbreed is the director's cut. I know Clive Barker. It's like there's more scenes with like him and his girlfriend and shit. Like, I
So
don't know.
who's doing show and tell? Who's got show and tell?
I'm excited for this. I've never
It's
seen
gonna
it.
be a good one. This is gonna be a
And
good
then
one.
after
It says what
Nightbreed-
Luke's
After Nightbreed, Dylan's taking a week off, and then Horror Fest starts.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yep.
And Dylan,
So this is the last one until
the
Horror
full
Fest.
official Horror Fest reveal is tomorrow night on Rock and Robbie Live. But do you want to go ahead and tease everybody with what we're kicking Horror Fest off with? Your first movie on September 3rd.
The first movie to kick off Horror Fest is shit, man. Did I fucking forget it?
It seems like it.
I did.
And it was Evil Bong, wasn't it?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oopsie poopsie. Baby oopsie.
Baby oopsie, man. Let's do it.
Fuck.
Did you really forget it, bro?
Do you know it, Robbie?
I'm gonna.
No, I know it.
I just saw
It's Life Force. Toby Hooper. Toby Hooper.
I thought it was Baby Oops.
I just watched that last night.
Wait, which one? What did he say?
Life Force by Toby
Yes,
Hooper.
it's Life Force. Yes, we've been waiting for that one, man.
Interesting.
So Life Force on September 3rd, and then on PCP Movie Night on September 5th, the Scream franchise.
I'm just watching that from Melinda May.
I want to get I need to pick up the 4K of this, man.
Nice.
Which I might have by the time that we do the review. I probably will have the 4K of this, honestly.
That sounds Shudder.
I'm just watching that for Captain Picard.
So, what week of Horror Fest is They Them, the Peacock original? I assume you're doing it, right?
I've heard actually good things about it.
Me and my girl watched
that about Ezra
movie,
Miller?
bro.
Kevin Bacon's in, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I watched it, because of Kevin Bacon.
Now, does he show his gigantic wiener in it?
Does his dick explode? Does
Kevin
anybody's
Bacon.
dick explode?
He's got a big fucking dick too, man. Like that would
I
explode
wish
big.
it would have made it a lot better.
All right.
Kevin Bacon ain't faking because he comes from Macon, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Come on,
6
man.
degrees of this dick.
Chilling with
I think
Dylan.
that's a better cover.
Chilling
I love
with
that
Dylan.
green.
Yes, that's a better call.
Watching movies with the killings, and we feeling for the villains, and we chilling with Dylan.
It's weird. This is a 2-disc set too, man. But if you get a Blu-ray and a DVD, they should fucking give.
Yeah, there's a 3-disc set.
They
that's
should
like,
just give you both.
There's a 3-disc set that's like $200. That's
Wow.
well, they did release it, but it was limited. I don't think Clive likes the theatrical cut.
No, he doesn't. He likes the directors. That's why this is the one that's still in stock, I guess. I don't know why, man. But because the regular set that's like 200, it's like it comes in like a thick case and everything. It's not. It's like a box set almost.
You know it, man.
You, man.
No,
but I know
Two Gun, you didn't miss it, my brother. You did not miss Show and Tell yet, my friend.
Show and Tell.
Who wants to go first?
Fuck it, I'll go first, man. Let's do it.
Boom. I'm gonna
Some
get
voting
mine.
readings.
I'm gonna get mine.
All right. First of all, I picked this up today, so this is a fresh get. I love that term. I first heard that from Manny. So this is a fresh get. It's a Decorum hardcover.
Oh,
It's a simple story told in a complex way. But even though I have the original issues, I'll probably throw those in a mystery box because I want this oversized hardcover. It's beautiful. It will fit right next to my East to West perfectly. You know,
that's the perfect size for a book, man. But right there, I love that size comic book.
You know it, brother. You know.
Hell yeah!
It. All right, Hammer Time Horseshoe was in the chat earlier. Got
you mean gifts. Horny Time Horseshoe?
Horny Time Horseshoe. Okay. T-shirts coming still. They're coming. Gave me some gifts today. I got the Blob, the original, Criterion, and the new one. Yep, or the one from the 80s that we covered.
I forgot you and Strick never got those.
Yeah, so like I got both Blob movies. That's from Hammer Time Holes.
Well, there's one more. Get the Beware the Blob. Kino Lorber has it out.
Okay, one more. I gotta get. I'm sorry, Scarpad. All right, so I got an awesome AOK Horror Fest pre-Horror Fest package from Two Gun Pedro.
Wow.
You know, he sent Dylan one a few weeks ago. He sent me one. Some awesome fucking shit in there. First of all, from Floating World Comics, we got Slasher by Charles Forsman.
Yeah, dude, he sent me that. He sent me that last year.
I haven't read it. I haven't read it yet, but he said it was a psychosexual slasher piece. And
yeah,
I have read some stuff, and I'm familiar with some stuff from this publisher. So I am rather excited to dive into this. It's right into my alley. I've been really digging into outlaw and power comics lately. Everybody needs to read Night Business.
Really good underground stuff that nobody I ever hear talk about. He finds such good stuff, man. I'm telling you.
So I'm excited for that. Then, of course, I
didn't read it yet, Two Gun.
He sent me Alice, Sweet Alice, just like he did you, and also sent me American Mary.
Just like he did you.
Yeah.
Just like he did you. So that's awesome. So now I don't have to struggle to where to find these when we eventually review them. When? You'll find out soon. And I got a T-shirt in the right size. Check out.
I'll review those in a year or two.
Or 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, damn. I love the orange on that. That shit is sick with Candyman.
Hell yeah, look at that.
Oh, that's sick, dude.
That's baller.
I love the orange background on that. Fuck, that's sick, dude. Two Gun, you got fucking skills when it comes to finding.
Yeah, dude, it's great. We got Chucky, Ghostface, Michael, Leatherface, Jason, Freddy, Candyman, and Pinhead. Come on, man. That's like all of them.
That's so awesome.
Come on. That's the 80s and 90s equivalent, y'all, of the Frankenstein monster and the Mummy and Dracula and Wolfman. So, Two Gun, we salute you.
Pew
Station.
Pew.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, bro. We love you.
Hell yeah, my brother.
That's it, man.
Dude, stay big shout out.
So thank you, Two Gun. Thank you, Hammer Time. Y'all rock. Got some good movies this week, y'all. Look at that.
Got
some good movies. Two of them I haven't seen, which are the ones Two Gun sent. But hell yeah, fucking awesome.
What's whole shoe mean if I'm okay with him sharing it?
No, he wants
I was gonna whatever it is, man. I don't give a fuck, bro. Share away.
Share that shit. Sharing is caring.
We family up in here.
Maybe he tried to I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe he posted.
Maybe he tried to put up a link or
something in there. Yeah. I don't know. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. I have two things. This is the Blame Scarpad show because I had to get it. Scarpad was showing his off last week. Got all that goodness in there.
Great set.
Dude, that black box.
And that's a hefty box too, man.
Right.
That box is hefty.
Dude,
kill an Italian woman with this.
I love it. Arrow.
I've been back.
Italian woman with this.
I've been back on a kick, or I've been on a Swamp Thing kick. When I quit the show, I had just dropped comics altogether, and I hadn't been able to force myself to pick one up. But I've been reading my Alan Moore Swamp Things, trying to get through that, and I got this a while back. I don't know if I ever showed anybody this, but this is
nice.
This is Snyder, right?
Snyder and Paquette, right?
Yeah. So this is a big badass omnibus, and I just love.
You reading the Ron B stuff?
Oh yeah.
Well, he was.
I was. Yeah.
That's one of the best New 52 books right there. Brian.
Yeah, that's. I think you when you guested for like the first time on the Cerebros, you recommended that. I ordered it that night. So yeah, hell's yeah. That's what I got. So I'm back on a big Swamp Thing kick, man.
Have you read the Moore stuff? Right? You've read the Moore stuff?
I've read the first two. I've got them right here. The first two of his Absolute editions, and then I ordered the third, and then I hadn't read it in a while, so I'm reading back through. I just finished the first one again. I'm trying to get through that.
Yeah, that's all you got to read. Like it sucks because I would recommend to any Swamp Thing fan to read the Len Wein, Bernie Wrights and stuff, but it's the Moore stuff is what you need to understand everything that comes after,
right?
No matter what the run, right? It's good stuff.
The problem is you put that book in your lap and your penis will explode.
Wait, good callback. I've got a whole system for reading these omnibuses, man. I got a pillow on my lap, and then I've got this little wooden stand that I put it on. I get comfy cozy. But you're right, man. They're not the best. That's why I said, like what Robbie showed earlier, that's like what I'm more into trying to collect these days are those sized books. Not like I started out collecting a lot of omnibuses, but I prefer something a little bit more.
Can you imagine what this book looks like on this size, bro?
Right,
oh
man.
my god, I haven't even opened it yet. But look at the back of it, man. Oh my god.
The art in that book is
the design. Oh my god.
I'll say it's
plus with those omnibuses, when you get them, you have to take 2 hours. You have to open the top.
You guys stretch that spine, bro.
Stretch that spine. Got to break it.
Is that what Jim Mint says? Stretch that spine. Come on,
minty fresh, baby.
I don't know. Although you can keep your reefer right in.
I don't keep my reefer in books anymore. I used to keep them in DVD cases, but now I got too much to fit in a DVD case.
Okay. Got some stuff for not a big haul this comparatively. I picked up because I hadn't watched this in a while. I like this movie for some reason. The Tom Cruise Oblivion with Morgan Freeman on 4K.
Oh, the fourth Phantasm film, right?
And I don't know. I seem to like Tom Cruise's science fiction stuff. He seems to pick good movies, and
he usually picks out good movies in general.
Now this is something I want to get into, like some kung fu shit, and I saw and heard this was good, so I picked this up. Is the Flying Guillotine Part 2. And it's cool. It's got those little flying guillotines, kind of like they go around
That's
hack
part
heads
2?
off and shit.
I've never
This
seen
is
part
actually-
2, but the first one is dope, Scarpad. Master of the Flying Guillotine.
I think this is the first one renamed, and there's a third one. It's a little odd how they do it. I think this is the master.
Shout or Scream has like a Street Fighter trilogy that's good too.
But that looked real cool, so I picked that up.
Dope.
This is supposed to be an excellent Mario Bava film. I'm getting into the Mario Bava stuff now. Black Sabbath.
Yeah, man.
That's an anthology right there.
Yeah. Right there. And this is a Kino. This might be an Italian version, but it does have the English language on it as well. And then this is one of my guilty favorites from the 80s. Stephen King's Graveyard
Hell
Shift.
yeah. I love that one.
And all the movies that suck the giant rats, I love them in this movie. They really, really
picked
good.
that one.
And it's got the guy that played Chucky, right? It's the guy that played Chucky in this?
Yeah, Brad Dourif.
Brad Dourif.
He plays the Exterminator. He's so funny in that, man.
He also happens to be in the greatest psychological thriller of the 90s, Exorcist 3.
Yes, sir.
And and I picked this up just to complete the set. I picked up the Dario Argento Tenebrae that just came out.
Dude,
that just came out 4K.
Yeah,
just came out in 4K.
And I don't have Tenebrae yet.
I gotta.
So I wanted to pick up that. So I'm gonna watch this, and I'm gonna watch them in all in order. What order should I watch them in?
Does that come with
You should watch them. What order of what?
First.
Compared to what?
Like Suspiria. I know they're not the different stories.
Suspiria,
Code
Deep Red.
The Deep Red and this
I would go Deep Red, Suspiria, that because that's I always would go chronological with Argento.
Yeah, this is
man.
That's one of my favorites right there, man.
So this was the last movie made that was good. I don't know.
Too.
But this one has both the original version and the edited, unsane version they call it. And it's got
because it was originally released in America as titled Unsane, and it was cut up.
And it's got the book like the other one does. So
nice.
It's a nice set.
So wait, is that Synapse or Arrow?
This is Synapse, I believe.
So
I know what I'm doing.
Like an Arrow release, though.
Yeah,
Dude, Tenebrae, and that's a great Goblin score too. That whole ba-na-na-na,
dude, that one. Oh my god, I gotta get.
And they've been grading the 4K transfers on these things. Look fantastic.
Damn, that and Deep Red, those are some nice sets.
And then finally, actually, this isn't horror, but some people might think it is. I gotta have me a little Johnny Gage and Roy DeSoto, so I got a deal on this 70s Emergency.
Cool, man. Cool. I used to watch the reruns of that when I was a kid, man.
30 I got this for $30. It says all the seasons and the TV movies that came after that. Little Doc bracket when you get bored. And finally, 2 figures I picked up that came in. Robbie would
like how he said it was a small haul this week.
Yeah.
Well,
compared to last.
This is the joke at the desk. You often watch Robbie. You'll see that when the super chats come up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and then
I like that.
Robbie showed this off. I'm not a big Turtles fan, but man, I had to pick these guys up. So I got the first one here.
Oh, bro.
And I got the other ones coming. The other 3. The only one I wasn't able to get, I think I got Splinter, the other Turtles. I didn't get April O'Neil was sold out, but I didn't really care about it.
Oh yeah, April O'Neil.
You'll be able to get it because it really hasn't released yet, so you'll be able to find it one day. Target is your good location for those.
But look at these; that's phenomenal.
Dude, the Mummy and Donnie and Leo look so fucking good.
They did such a great job on these things. And
at first I was like, "There's no way I'd ever get those." But if I had the money, I would fucking get those.
I wasn't gonna get them until Robbie showed. Yeah, there we go, Robbie.
Don't.
I wasn't gonna get them until Robbie shows it, and then they were just phenomenal.
Let me tell you.
I can do so much with this virtual camera on OBS. I actually like this better. I'm kind of glad my webcam fucked up on this.
The only thing I got, and it's not even horror related, but I'll have more next week. I'll have a couple things to show next week because it didn't make it in time. I got the Sonic 2 on 4K.
For Kizzy.
You trying to tell me that that's not a horror film, Dylan?
Dude, this movie's awesome. Don't try and say it's a crap show or something.
I haven't watched it.
I agree. for if you weren't here, if you just popped in, this is what we will be reviewing next week on Dylan's Horror Show. So definitely remember to do your homework and check out Clive Barker's Nightbreed.
Nightbreed.
The breed of night.
Yeah, next week I'll have a decent little haul though, man. I think.
Y'all, we're so close to Horrorfest, Dylan. Can you smell it?
I think the Child's Play 4Ks are coming in a day or in a couple of days. I can't.
The Child's Play one?
Yeah, from Amazon.
Yeah,
what is it?
I wish I could have got it from Shout, so I could have got those exclusive.
Yeah, I'm finishing up the Child's Play TV show. It's not bad.
That's fire.
I like it. I like it a lot, man.
What did you say you're getting? What just came out for Child's Play on 4K, Dylan? What did you say?
Oh,
2 and 3, right?
They did 4K. Scream Factory just did a while back. Scream Factory had Child's Play, a collector's edition just for the first one, and I got that. And then a couple months ago, they announced that they were doing a 4K Child's Play 1, 2, and 3, which they've already did the first one, but it was Blu-ray, so they just did a new scan, a 4K scan.
Nice.
But 2 and 3 are brand new. Scream Factory never did, so you're getting interviews, a bunch of new bonus features.
Nice.
So I really can't wait to see 2 and 3.
See, that's the thing now with, I think, Shout Factory, Arrow Video, and Paramount Video. They all, first thing they do is they test the waters with a Blu-ray. Then they put out like a steelbook, and then they do a 4K. So now you're better off waiting, because eventually the 4K, if you're a 4K guy, will come out, and you end up saying, shit, I should have waited for the 4K.
Right.
Now, that's what I like about some of these Dario Argento ones. They came out pretty quick on 4K. But
that's what I'm glad to see that, because I'm trying to get all the Dario Argento 4Ks because they've only released a few.
This is what the first one's gonna look like, except it'll just have the 4K. That like silver 4K logo across it.
Nice.
Yeah, and they're saying, and the reviews have been saying that the 4K, the video on the 4K disc looks phenomenal.
Nice.
It's the best the movie's ever looked.
I can't believe that they've never done a 4K. They've yet to do a 4K for any Nightmare on Elm Street film.
Dude, they need to do a box set like they did for Friday. It'll just have this silver bar across it.
Right.
But then they did. I wish they would have,
cool.
Because they did the original post art for 2 and 3, and you can't switch the artwork on this. So they should have done this as the artwork for the slipcover on the 4K, but they just reused this. So you got commissioned art, and then you got 2 of the original poster arts.
I think Nightmare on Elm Street.
It doesn't match up like kind of with the collection, which I'm kind of bummed about.
The other thing, if you're looking at the 4K disc
too, out of print for a while. This was hard to get with the slip.
I noticed if you have a region-free player,
no, I don't.
I know you don't, but I'm just saying if you have one,
the
Dawn of the Dead 4K is being released in regular versions now. That isn't a big box, so you can pick it up for like $20 to $25.
Really, I picked up the 4K version with just the condensed down version, which I love, dude.
Does it still have the European cut on it?
I think it still has the Argento cut. Yeah,
because that's why I bought it, was for the Argento.
Because I only have the Argento cut still on DVD, which is the superior cut.
I hear there's more Goblin score.
There is.
Dude, I'm tripping about what the fuck I have, because I have this cut. It says all over it, U.S. theatrical. And I watched a different version recently. I'm like, dude, this. I just a DVD. And I'm telling you, man, I've watched a few weeks back or a month or so back. I watched a different version that had a different score. And I'm like, well, fuck, is this the Italian cut? Like, even though it says U.S., is there
what does it say on it?
It says, it flat out says U.S. theatrical, but then I watched it on some
streaming
service.
Because there's a cut, there's like a director's cut.
Well, there's 4 or 5 different.
There's the international version. Well, there's the international version, but there's the Argento cut, which is also listed as the European cut sometimes, and sometimes just called Zombie.
Right.
Sometimes it's called Zombie Dawn of the Dead.
And that's expensive. Because I looked at it.
Is it? Okay, so like
it's not cheap.
You
it's like
get
the Argento cut is actually short. the Argento cut is shorter than Romero's cut. So that's a good way to tell what it is.
The main thing that stuck out to me in wherever I streamed it, it was like, dude, this music is clearly different. Like it's exactly what I heard you say a few times. It's like there's more stock music, there's not as much goblin. And the film that I watched the first few times was this, and it's chock full of goblin. Because every time you said that, I'm like, damn, how much fucking more goblin could you put in it? So I'm really curious to get the European cut and sit and watch them back to back and compare them.
I wish I could remember. I wish I could remember certain scenes. There are certain scenes that are in Romero's cut that are not in Argento's cut. And I cannot remember what it is.
What is it? The freaking pie fight.
The pie fight is the pie fight in the DVD that you have.
The pie fight isn't in the Argento.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is, and it was in what I streamed it.
So if you don't find the pie fight, that's probably the Argento.
I'm gonna do my homework, and I'll get back to you next week.
Yeah, just compare the running time online with because the Argento cut's shorter.
Right.
Romero movies always go a tad too long. It's one of those like discrepancies that I love about him. You know, it's like loving amateur comic art, you know, and like just loving the mistakes because it's part of it, you know, and it's like Romero movies are always too long. Like they always are, but I love them. I love them for it, except for like Night of the Living Dead. That's not too long.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
But like Dawn and Martin, Night Riders, Day, I love them all. I think they're all like Five You Digs movies, the ones I just named, but they are a bit too long.
They just added a bunch of Romero stuff to Shudder, like his.
But they got a new Martin edition coming out, right? They're doing a 4K of that or something, right? So
yeah, that's the one I haven't been able to get.
I don't even think Martin's ever been released on Blu-ray, has it? Maybe, but
no, it's if so limited. The company that Dawn of the Dead that put out that Dawn of the Dead set is doing a 4K of Martin, and it just got pushed back a little bit longer because they were trying to find like. They'd heard about some like unreleased footage that might have been hidden, but I don't think they found it. And
Martin is the best, and we're not talking about the TV show Vernon. Martin by George Romero is the best unconventional vampire film I've ever seen.
Oh shit! Friday the 13th coming out on 4K in September too.
Did you hear that they're talking? Since the rights have like freed up, they're doing another Friday the 13th movie.
They said there'd be an announcement at the end of the year.
13th box
I hope it's
Factory did.
It's got to have Kane Hodder. It's the 13th film in the franchise. You got to have Kane Hodder.
Oh,
and you know what? You know what? Let's imagine that Jason Goes to Hell never happened. Yeah. We're not at Jason X yet. We don't have to worry about that. But Jason Goes to Hell never fucking happened. What if we do a direct sequel to Jason Takes Manhattan? What if we did Maniac of New York, but like fuck it, do Jason? God damn it. Like people have Jason alerts in their fucking town. Sirens go off and shit, man.
Speaking of Maniac of New York, it's
nice. I got to meet Andrea Muti.
Oh yeah.
Andy, as his friends call him, I've learned. Super cool dude. I met him at Heroes Con. He was actually talking to my buddy Kevin behind us at the bar. I was like, who are you talking to? He's like, his name's Andy. He like does some work at Aftershock now. He's like doing a bunch of books. He's got like 5 books out this year. And I was like, Andy, like, you mean like Andrea Muti? And he's like, I don't know. And then like I met him and I was like, this is him, bro. You're I was like, I bow to you. Like when you're drunk at a con at the bar meeting people and you're just like me and you're just like fanboying out when you're drunk, he's like, it's just like, bro, you're the best. You got pop boom, man. it's like you don't even know what I'm saying, man. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
I want Kane Hodder as Jason. 13 movies. Come on. Kane Hodder is the best
He's
Jason.
Isn't he like 100 years old now?
Yeah, but he can do it, man. He can do it. If Nick Castle can still just be recording
he's still
ADR of breathing.
Doing the fucking Friday the 13th video game.
I met him last year. That dude's probably could kick my ass, and I'm 40. So I think he's good.
He could, not probably.
Like, he put his arm around me, dude, and squeezed, man. He could kick my ass. He could kill me. He could kill me, man. I think he could still do it.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't like my Cowboys hoodie that I was wearing, to be honest with you.
Did any of you guys ever finish watching The Boys season 3?
Yeah, dude. Good stuff. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, dude. I've been like on a kick where like that's all I like when I'm just bored, I just throw on The Boys. I keep watching seasons 1 to 3 over and over again.
Really?
It's dude.
Did you buy the Blu-rays on it?
Huh?
Did you buy the Blu-ray set for the first?
No,
two seasons?
dude, I freaking need to so bad because it's on sale right now too for like
It's cheap.
$27.
Yeah, like $20, something like that.
Yeah, and I don't want to because there's no way I want to pay like $40.
What the fuck's Mark up for?
Go to bed, Mark.
Mark, what the fuck are you doing, man? It's like 4:30. What are you doing? Go to bed.
He might be up for work
Hey, it's
tomorrow.
Saturday, man. He says he can't sleep.
Station, my brother.
Station, you're
Feels
real.
like says he can't sleep. Leave the brother alone.
Leave him
the maid
alone, man. Let him stay up.
Leave her alone.
I just want to point out again, real quick. Tomorrow night, Rockin' Robbie Live, their full reveal of Horror Fest, PCP Movie Night, and Dylan's Horror Show. The full reveal tomorrow night on Rockin' Robbie Live. Don't miss it. We'll probably be doing that around 8:15 to 8:30, but Central. But don't quote me on that, okay? And then Friday night, we're ending Action Fest with the TMNT franchise review. All the Turtles movies, the first 3, the TMNT animated one, and the 2 Michael Bay produced ones. Verno's going to be there.
I didn't know you were doing the animated one.
Oh, yeah, the TMNT from like 2007, 2008. We're doing that one too.
Okay, good
TMNT
animated movie that just came out.
We're not doing The Rise. No, we're not doing the newest one. Mark's going to be there. Mark's going to be there. Vern's going to be there, and Joe Corallo's going to be there, along with me, Brooks, and Jelani. It's going to be a great show.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait to hear Joe Corallo defend Turtles in Time. You know what Turtles in Time looks like? It looks like fucking Chuck E. Cheese Showbiz Pizza animatronics is what they look like. I don't understand it because that first Turtles movie, y'all, I'm going to tell you, that holds up so well.
Dude, you know what's crazy? Turtles in Time, not called Turtles in Time. Anywhere.
It is. I looked it up today. It's Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, Turtles in Time.
Bro, some dude on YouTube told me it wasn't. I looked into it, and he was right.
I'm going to show you my Blu-ray. I'm going to show you my Blu-ray. It says
all right, good. Okay, good. I'll show you my Blu-ray that doesn't say it. But okay, I'm excited.
We got a Mandela effect going on.
Right. Well, it's because the video game was called Turtles in Time.
I know, but they're both. Like, because I did this today. I was like, people keep telling me. I was like, someone keeps telling me that one of them's not called Turtles in Time. And now I'm glad that you've confirmed that it's you. But we looked it up, man.
I never said it before. I didn't know it until yesterday.
Somebody's told me this.
It does say Turtles in Time on this TV on Amazon. But supposedly, it doesn't say it in the movie.
My Blu-ray says it, man. I'll tell you that.
Doesn't say it it's weird. If you click on it on Amazon, it doesn't say it, but the box now says
fucking
it.
Mark likes Turtles in Time. It's gonna be like Lethal Weapon all over again, Mark. You're gonna be like, Lethal Weapon 4 is the best.
I can't wait.
Oh yeah.
I'm smelling my dinner being done, and I'm getting stares. I think
we're gonna wrap it anyways. Be sure to tune in next Saturday for Clive Barker's Nightbreed, and make sure you are there tomorrow night at about 8 to 8:30 at Pop Culture Philophers for the official reveal.
Be there the whole night, goddammit. Be there the whole night, starting at 7 p.m. Central. Come on, be there the whole night.
Just to get, oh, that's when it starts. Okay, yeah. So yeah, make sure you be there so you can see the official announcement. You're not gonna want to miss out and see what the hell we got in store for the next 2 months on the horror show and on Pop Culture Philophers.
Right.
We love you so much. Everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. You guys are the best. We couldn't do it without you. You guys have a great rest of your weekend, and we will see you next time. Peace out, y'all.
No.
Thank you. Thank